Honourable member for Calgary-Greenway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The child and youth advocate plays a vitally important role in our province because he's the voice for children who either cannot speak or whose voices are not heard. Right. Last week, the advocate released a report on Levi, whose voice was muted at best, ignored at worst. In response to advocate's report, the minister says her government, quote, accept these important recommendations, unquote. Minister, what is the exact procedure in your office when the child and youth advocate releases a report?
Honourable Minister of Children's Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, again, I want to say it is absolutely heartbreaking that Levi did not get the support that he needed. And our thoughts continue to be with his family and with his community. Again, these recommendations are important and need to be acted on closely. So certainly my staff within Children's Services will work closely with the Child and Youth Advocate to talk about what the best way is to move forward to implement those recommendations, because it is completely unacceptable what happened to Levi, and that should never happen again. And we're committed to moving forward and making the system better for the vulnerable children in this province.
First supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that in his report on Levi's lonely suicide, which was end result of a lifelong neglect, an advocate recommends that the department pay serious attention to a child's needs. And given that these recommendations have been made numerous times, and this government has 2 years and 2 ministers to address them. Minister, what have you done personally since becoming a minister to ensure the system never lose track of neglected children like Levi or Serenity?
Good question. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I'm proud for the record that this government has in advocating for vulnerable children in this province before we became government and certainly as government here in this province. Mr. Speaker, we've invested in the child intervention system. Mr. Speaker, we've invested in families in this province with the Alberta Child Benefit. Mr. Speaker, we have moved forward with the most open review of the child intervention system with the ministerial panel to talk about moving forward. Mr. Speaker, we moved from recommendations on the child death review just a month ago received to introducing—
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Second supplemental.
Given that advocate is a critical of a system that pays more heed to the needs and the wants of parents than that of children, and given that the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Children states that every child has the right to participate in the decisions that affect them and to have their opinion seriously considered. And given that this convention should inform every decision made by every staff member, Minister, since your business plan makes no mention of this powerful international convention, does this mean it is no consequence to your ministry?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, absolutely the best interest of the vulnerable youth and children in this province is the primary focus of this ministry. So, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear that when it comes to Levi, that the ministry did not do everything possible to support that young man. Again, that is completely unacceptable. When a young person asks for help, as Levi did, we must do whatever we can to support them. So, Mr. Speaker, yes, we will work with the Child Youth Advocate to make sure that the vulnerable youth and children of this province have the voice that they have deserved for so long in a system that was neglected for— Thank you.